June 27th, Eric did end up, he took his own life. It was very much unexpected.
Did you go to bed the night before and be like, everything's fine?
Yeah. He was planning this since the day we got home.
Wait, so when he left you the note, was he blaming you for it? Today's episode, I am going to be talking with Devin Fritzler. 11 months ago, Devin had a devastating loss when her husband committed suicide unexpectedly. Devin does an amazing job diving into the real questions that we have. I could not be more proud of her for just being so open and honest about this entire topic and her real story. You know, sometimes things spiral out of control and we don't even realize it until it's too late. So we're going to dive right in, give you something to stew on, and just know that it might get loud. Yoo-hoo!
I'm getting straight up comfy.
Is mine. So I met Devin in college, and we were both on the dance team. Go Cards.
Yes,
and it's
SPSU.
It's been years. I don't know why.
I don't know.
It's obviously, your life changed a year ago.
Yeah.
But leading up, what's the backstory between just a couple years prior to that?
We'll go back to, I got married in 2014. I had my first daughter in 2015, and then I've had two other kids since 2019 and 2022. I had a business. We were doing countertops for about five years or so.
The granite countertops?
Yeah, granite, quartz, all that kind of stuff.
Did you guys start that together, or was that his thing and then you?
So that was his thing.
Okay.
That was his dream to work for himself and everything like that. And then I kind of just went with it, and we started it, and I ended up doing all of our sales and would go and design stuff with customers, and then he did the heavy lifting stuff, the hard
stuff you don't want to do.
Yeah, the hard stuff I can't do. So he would do that part, and then so then
did you guys have employees?
Yeah, we did. Throughout the years, we had a couple different people that would come and help install with him and all that kind of stuff. But mostly, as far as sales go, it was just me.
So it was busy. It was doing well.
It was doing pretty good. Yeah, it was doing all right. And then he had kind of decided that it wasn't doing well enough, so he was gonna stop, and he was just gonna go and get a different job.
So sell the business or
just close it.
Okay.
He was gonna close it all together and then
shift gears.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not really quite sure what that all looked like.
When was that?
That was last year.
Okay. So you guys did it for a while.
Yeah.
Was that the only thing you guys were doing?
No. Well, I graduated from SCSU in exercise science. So I'm an exercise physiologist, and I work in cardiac rehab too. So I work that 40 hours a week.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I do as well. And then I was coming home and doing the business stuff too.
Right.
So I was doing all of our office work and all of our sales and all that kind of stuff too.
With kids.
3 kids.
Yeah.
With 3 kids.
I can't even imagine having a plant that's not fake at this point.
No, I
2
can't.
is
I kill them all
good.
immediately.
2 is good. I can't. 3, I think, would just put me over the edge. I actually think okay. Sorry,
day.
got sidetracked. Okay, so what was going on, the relationship? Obviously, anything with kids and work is just going to be so tense and weigh on your relationship. But what was going on at that point? Because everybody has freaking problems in their relationship, but nobody talks about it because they don't want people to think they're the only ones, even though everybody has them. What was it really like, and how was it, I'm sure, just building?
At first everything's great. It's fantastic. And I'm never going to say that he's a bad person, because he wasn't, but it kind of got to be on a constant cycle. And I just the past year I've been in therapy, and I think that everyone should be in therapy, and if you're not, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, you're in denial.
You're in denial. You need therapy too.
You were also messed up.
No, but so I've just kind of learned that it was kind of a toxic cycle. We would be really good, really great, and then it'd be really bad. So really bad meaning just constant fighting. And then it got even worse when we did start our business, because it was just constant stress. So it was all the stress of normal life and work too, and kids and life in general. And then it was add on top of that, running and starting and getting a business off the ground. And he obviously struggled a lot with his mental health forever.
Did you know this?
Not really. Not until after we got married. So he used to be on medications and stuff like that. And then we got married, and then he decided eventually that he didn't want to keep taking them because he didn't like how they made him feel. So then he stopped taking meds. And then it was like, there was just a lot of swings. Like it was really great, really bad, really great, really bad.
Which is hard too, because it's like not your fault, but also you have to like be the other side of the teeter-totter on the roller coaster 24/7.
It's 24/7. Yeah. Like you never knew what the day was going to bring. You never knew what it was going to be like. You never knew who was coming home from work that day.
Good, like you have these little like glimmers of hope of like,
Yes.
okay, it's going to be all right. And then the rug gets ripped out from under you and you're like,
and usually,
now what are we
honestly,
doing?
like, usually it got to the point where, like, throughout our 10 years of marriage, we would be on the verge of divorce, and then I'd get pregnant. Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't you do science?
And then it'd be like, okay, like, we can make this work. And then it would be really great. I'd be pregnant. We'd have a baby. So fantastic. And then it would get really bad again.
Yeah.
And then after my third baby, I got my tubes tied. So there was like,
No more science.
no more babies. So,
Yeah.
no, so finally I did have to just, like, I got to stop the cycle. It was miserable.
Miserable, but also like weighing on you and you're like, I'm carrying all these
Yeah.
things. And like for me, for sure, it was like, I'm carrying humans. If I am unwell, like,
Yeah.
how are they supposed to? Isn't it so weird to think like you have kids and you're like, I'm the only person they like even know? And then I look at myself and I'm like, I feel like I'm 14. Like what?
Literally the other day I was sitting on my couch and I was like, I'm the adult here.
I'm
like,
in charge.
Me? I'm in charge?
Yeah.
Like,
Somebody please tell me what to do.
this is not right. Like but yeah, no. So I finally got to the point where I had to just like, I have to break this cycle. I cannot keep living like this. It's just not, I was like, this isn't healthy for him. It's not healthy for me. It's not healthy, like, for any of us. And it wasn't to say that, like, he's a terrible person, because he was a great dad, and, you know, like,
Things change. Like sometimes they just don't work anymore.
Yeah. I kind of like shut myself off, and like I didn't really hang out with my girlfriends very much. Maybe that's why I haven't seen you in forever. I didn't see my family as often as I even like to. I didn't
Were you like pressured to not see them, or
yeah.
you just
Yeah. Like it was like when he was home, like I felt like we needed to be home. But it was like never, that was the problem, like it was never enough. So like you were constantly feeling like it was never enough. But then like, well, you didn't do enough in the house today, or you didn't do, like it was always like there was always something like there. And so then you get to the point where like, okay, I know I'm not a crap person, like I don't suck. So like I'm like something has to give here.
Isn't it weird too? Because I feel like I'm like that, where I'm like, oh my God, there's always something to do. And I'm like, how am I not caught up yet? Because I haven't sat down in like 7 years. Like I literally haven't sat down in forever.
I know. Yeah.
I don't sit and just like peruse and watch TV. Like I'm always doing something.
I always have
and
something to do.
I'm still not caught up.
No,
ever.
I know. I've like half my grass cut the other day, and I was like, and then I was like, well, jump in the truck because we got to go to soccer. And then it's like you get home, then you have to do bath and bed. And then I was like, I literally didn't even like get into my bed until like 11. And then you're just out until you have to get up at 5 to go to work the next day.
And cut the other half of the grass.
Which still isn't done.
Leave it. It's fine. I'm reading this. I don't care. Judge me. I can't remember a sentence, okay? So when you were thinking of, like, getting divorced, what made you not do it? Were you scared of, like, the financial breakdown? Were you scared of, like, what held you in the relationship during those times where you were like, it's time?
So I was always preached to, like, my parents have been married for 50 years. And I was always...
Yeah, mine are almost 40.
Yeah.
And no one in my family is divorced.
No. I was always preached to that you stay married and you make it work. And so like that was always like in the back of my mind. And then, you know, you always think like, oh, well, it'd be better for the kids to have, you know, then my poor kids will be from like a divorced family. And
I felt that guilt so hard.
God, you feel so guilty. And then like, but then, so now, like, so that was really it. Like my kids and like, one, I don't want to share my kids.
Yeah, that was 100,000% the hardest thing.
So you're like, okay, so do I just keep being miserable, you know, and going through this like roller coaster? Do I keep going through that cycle, or do I stop the cycle and then I have to give up time with my kids? I have to, you know,
fight.
I have to fight.
Start over.
I have to fight. I have to like co-parent. I have to do all the things. Like, I think that, but I think honestly, like the thing was like my always being preached to that, like you just make it work and you do whatever you have to do and you make it work. I think that was like the biggest thing holding me there. That and like there was a lot of verbal abuse, so it was always like it was preached to me that like I would be nothing without him.
Yeah.
And I would have nothing without him, and I'd end up in, a box on the side of the road, basically, without
Yeah, I
anything.
always guilted that too, and I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah. Like,
But I'm
gonna
also
be okay.
like, I will survive in a box on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Just don't take my kids.
Yeah, with me and
I'll
my kids.
figure something out. I do think there is so much guilt around that.
Yeah.
And then we carry that because we're like, okay, we're making this decision not knowing what the outcome is.
Right,
And then
yeah,
it's
you have
hard
no
too because
idea.
you're like, okay, I'm making this decision for you and you. You know what I mean?
It's
And
not-
it's like, I
yeah.
don't want to make a decision that you guys don't want of your life, but I also don't even know the outcome of the decision because I don't know what's on the other side of that door.
No, yeah.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
When I finally ripped the Band-Aid off, which my kids are doing amazing. Like if I
Yeah.
would have known that like they were going to be as okay as they
They're
were,
thriving, right.
I probably would have done it sooner. But I also, the shitstorm that ensued as soon as I ripped the Band-Aid off,
Yeah.
maybe would have kept me in a box for a minute because
Yeah.
I could have never anticipated that shit going
Well,
down.
I listened to that podcast that you were on the other day, and I listened to that whole debacle, and like, what a mess. And
Yes.
and like we were saying back and forth, like, just don't be a dick. Like, don't be a dick.
Yeah, why
it's not
is
hard.
it-
Like, just stop. Like, just be nice. Like, just I don't know. And like, you'd think that it would be like they wouldn't want to cause such a problem because you're the mother of their children. Like, to
That
me,
pays
that's
for
in my
everything and
head. I'm
takes
like,
care of everything.
who
and-
takes care of everything? Who like? I'm sure, like, most women, like, yeah, ask your kid ask your kid's dad when picture day is, or what's for lunch at school that day. They don't know.
No, I
No
don't even
offense,
think.
dads, but
Yeah,
like,
no
they don't
offense,
know.
dads. I'll keep my mouth shut. I
Yeah.
could talk a lot, but I won't. I won't right now. But yeah, no, I get it. That's so daunting. It's
Yeah,
daunting.
That was I think the biggest thing was the guilt for my kids of like not knowing, how is this gonna play out? How is this gonna go?
right. And I think too, like when I got divorced, I was really the first one of my friends to get divorced, which was scary because I didn't have someone telling me like, oh, this is what happens,
Yeah.
And then when I moved, all of my mom friends are like, we've already been divorced. Like we're on our second go. And I'm like,
catch
oh,
up.
this is, yeah, like it's so not taboo.
It's not anymore, and like it's unfortunate because like it really is like that's not like that.
It's not the way we wanted life to go.
No,
but
it's not. It's not what we
is-
wanted, but like at least it's becoming like our kid. Like
They're not alone.
they're not alone. Yeah,
It's so normal.
it's so normal.
Which I'm not like advocating for it or anything.
no,
But
I'm not either. But
I'm glad
still.
that they're all. It's very normalized.
Yes, it is.
Do you feel like you had to hide what was going on to like make everything look okay?
100%. Yeah, 100%. I mean, even like my family still, like my family and my friends, like nobody know. And that's another thing. Like, you can't judge somebody for asking for a divorce or getting divorced or leaving a relationship because you have no idea what's going on at home.
Right, and then it's
Nobody
hard too because the
knows.
people who do say everything that's going on at home, everybody's like, "Why are you still with him?"
Yeah, and everyone's judging you for staying, but then it's also like, so like.
But then if
even-
you choose to stay,
Yeah.
they're like, "You're an idiot." It's like
Yes.
no matter what way you have to keep it
cannot
in.
make anybody happy. You have to just start worrying about yourself. I mean, even my family, like they don't even know like how it was. He was a great human being. He was honestly, like I will always say, like Eric was the most loyal human being I've ever met, and like he did have like he loved his kids so much, and I know he loved me, but like the mental health breakdown there was like the biggest thing. But yeah, I did have to hide a lot of what happened. Like my family still doesn't know like the way that he spoke to me, and like I never ever thought it would ever be like physical abuse, but looking now in therapy, it definitely was a lot of verbal, a lot of emotional abuse, bad. Like
I'm one of those people that like I'd rather be angry than hurt.
yeah.
I'm sure some people are different, but I do not want to absorb the emotional
Well, because it was
beat down
constant.
of it.
Yeah. And it's hidden, so nobody knows. So eventually towards the end of everything, I did start to tell like my family a little bit more as to like what it was like at home, just because they didn't understand, so they didn't support like me wanting a divorce at all.
So they wanted you to stay.
Yes.
Okay.
My mom was like, hey, you can make it work and blah blah blah, and I understand that because that's like her generation, that's where she comes from, but like
And they're
doesn't.
scared.
Yeah.
My family was terrified. Like I feel
Yeah.
like they wanted me to stay because they were so scared of
the
unknown.
the unknown, yeah.
And yeah, just
Yeah.
like, what is he's gonna be mad? What is he
Yeah.
gonna do?
Exactly. So in therapy, my therapist had me, she was like, I want you to get all of that out. Like stop internalizing like the things that he said to you and write it down. And then on the other side of the paper, I want you to write down like the truth of like who you actually are. I think if I were to show that notebook to my family and like close friends, it would wreck them.
Yeah.
Like, I think if they actually were to read the things that he said, and he would say all the time, like, I will cut you with my words. Like, he didn't care. That was just like the mental
That's
health
like a
thing.
cry for help in a really
is.
way.
Yeah, it is. And like, then you try
It's
to
hard
like get him
you
help.
don't want to give them an excuse to do it.
Right.
But you're also like mental health is so real.
Yeah. So you just learn to like not say anything, and you learn to like shut your voice down.
But it does bury you.
Oh, it does. Absolutely.
Especially when you're trying to show up for everybody else except yourself.
And then you're constantly being told that you're not good enough.
The world is already telling me that.
Yeah, you're I get it, dude.
I didn't give my kid organic grapes today. I know.
I'm the worst.
I'm horrible.
No, seriously.
Yeah, and then that's just like one more.
Especially when you go into like a marriage thinking that this is supposed to be your partner, right?
That's gonna love me so much.
And it's supposed to be your teammate, and it's supposed to be the person that like will have your back, but like. You don't even really want to have that person's back at the end of the day because of how they're treating you. No.
What is your love language? I think mine changes, actually.
I think mine, like,
the one you receive?
Well, obviously words of affirmation.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm not a huge physical touch person. Like, I
think I am now.
I think I'm gonna get there, I think. But I think, like, I'm just, like, so, like, ooh, still.
Yeah. A little We're just not used to being loved. It's fine.
No, I know. I'm damaged.
We actually don't know how to accept any form. We only know how to give.
I know.
I like words of affirmation,
yes.
but I like quality time.
Yeah,
and I think
absolutely.
it's because I'm so busy now, and like both of us always have something going on, and like we're always, both of our jobs are 24/7 because we have the same job.
Right.
So it's like a lot of times we're out to dinner, we're like negotiating a crazy contract, and then I'm like, what? Can we just put our shit away for a minute?
Yeah. I think I'm getting to that, like,
you just need all of them right now.
I just need all of them.
Just
love me. Just love me. No. Yeah.
I think a lot of people think that manipulation is so black and white, and it's like I will totally know if I'm being manipulated, but it's really not. What is something that people should consider when they're looking at their relationships? Like, what are some signs that maybe it's toxic?
When I look back, right? Because they say like what hindsight's 20/20. Is that saying?
I'm not very good at quotes. I can't even remember a question.
So hindsight's 20/20, right? So you look back, and I think my biggest thing that I saw in myself was that I was changing what I did. I wouldn't go to my sister's house just because I wanted to.
You were doing things that were against your own self.
Yeah, I wasn't going to hang out with my friends because I was afraid that he'd be mad, or I was afraid of how it would be when I got home. Or like not, and again, like not physical, but like. I would get yelled at, or like
guilted. Not
yelled at, but like I felt like I was getting scolded, shamed that I wasn't working, that I was out playing with friends, or I was doing whatever. But like, that's who I am. Yeah, I think that would be the biggest thing. Like looking at like, are you changing your true self for what somebody else wants you to do? Like you're not doing anything wrong. I wouldn't go and sit at my sister's house, or I wouldn't go.
Right, it's not like you're like gambling 30 grand.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything wrong. I was just going to go sit at my sister's house, and like, I wouldn't do that, and I wouldn't go. And my sister's like my best friend. Like if you can look at your life and you're like, well, I didn't do this because of this, and I didn't do this because of
I should have been able to. So getting into like this past year of your life, which I've only seen on the outside, like I've only seen. Nothing, barely.
Right, yeah.
Like, how did this happen? Like, I feel like it was, I mean, obviously, I don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it was a shock to you. Like, walk us through how this unfolded, which I feel like is such a heavy question.
So, a year ago, we kind of going back even a little bit further than a year ago, we were basically living in the same house, but living separately. Like, we didn't sleep in the same room. Like, we only talked when it was about the kids, and then eventually got to kids are like the business, and then
it was transactional.
Yeah, it was very transactional, for a while, and nobody really knew that. Nobody really saw that ever.
Well, nobody wants to be like, yo, we are sleeping in different floors.
Yeah, he literally stayed in the basement. I stayed upstairs, and that was for a while. But we were still in therapy. Like we were trying to do.
Okay, so you guys were.
We were in counseling. He wouldn't go until I finally convinced him to go. And we were going to see a therapist, and it was okay. I didn't love it. I just didn't think it was great, but it was good. Like
it wasn't a great fit, or like he wasn't.
The therapist
fully...
wasn't. I feel like it was. I always felt like I got like railroaded, by like him and the therapist, which I
Like they just
hated.
go in and throw up
like,
all over you?
Yeah, and like I got like I was still like kept feeling like I was like getting silenced, and I hated that.
Yeah.
But we were there, and we were trying, and we were still like very much separate lives. Fast forward to June, early June, we went up north for my cousin's wedding. We went up north. We had a great weekend. Like I was like, well, okay, like maybe
There was a glimmer of hope.
maybe there was like a glimmer of hope. Like maybe this is gonna be really good, right? Like maybe it's gonna be great. Like we're gonna be fine. Like okay, like maybe I can try this again. Well, then we're driving home, and he's like, "Why are you so nervous? Like what's your problem?" And I was like, I was driving. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I thought it was a good weekend. So then it was like
I'm nervous when I drive anyway.
no, but I was fine. Like I had nothing. Like we were listening to music. The kids were in the
I
back
do
seat,
think
like,
sometimes people feel something internally, and then they're like, "Why are you mad?"
yes, and then they like project that on
yeah.
you. Yeah. So
And then you're like, "Am I acting weird?"
yeah. So then it like then like we got home, and it was like another like explosion. Like it was just like
But it made no sense.
Made no sense, and I was like, I don't really understand. So we still continued to kind of work together, separate, up, down, you know, whatever, and then go to therapy. And then June 27th, Eric did end up like he took his own life. And it was very much unexpected, very out of the blue.
Like, did you go to bed the night before and be like, everything's fine?
Yeah. Yeah, like normal.
Were you guys home?
My kids were home with our babysitter in the house. Yeah, so I was at work. I was at work at the hospital. We shared like a YouTube account is how it happened. This is like, nobody knows this, but like we shared a YouTube.
I feel like I'm like, am I allowed to ask this? But I'm also like, I almost feel like it's healing sometimes to just like.
Yeah, and I'm to the place now where like
get it out of me.
I'm to the point now where like I'm okay sharing this because if my story is how I feel, if my story and like what happened to us, like if this can like help anybody
or prevent this
from happening to anybody,
yeah.
if this can help anybody, or if like it's relatable, like I'm here for it, right? I've done a lot of work on myself to get there, but yeah. So anyways, I was at work and we shared a YouTube account, and he made like some very cryptic comment on YouTube.
Like to
some song or whatever, some sad song. And I was like, so I screenshot it and I sent it to him like, hey, what the hell is this?
This was the day before?
No, this was the day of.
Oh, okay.
The day before, it was just like normal. Everyone went to bed. I woke up. I went to work. It was the summer, obviously, so our kids were home. Our babysitter was there. And then I like sent him a screenshot of like this comment. I was like, what the hell is this? Like, what's going on? You know, like trying to talk to him.
Like, I'm concerned.
Yeah, I was concerned. I was like, what is going on? What is this? Yeah. And no response. And so then like I like called him, no response, I called him like probably, 50 times. So like I basically went back into my office and I was like, I gotta go. So you
did feel that?
I did. Something in me was like, something's not right. I can't find Eric. This is bad. So I did actually.
What about the babysitter? Did you reach out to her?
I called my babysitter. I'm like, hey, like, is his truck there? Is his car there? Like, is his work van there? She's like, yeah, everything's there. I'm like, okay, I need you to go out to the shop and I need you to, because it's like a pole barn. We've got like 2.5 acres. It's all the way in the back. I'm like, can you just go? You don't have to go in. Don't go in. Just knock. Like, knock and see if he answers the door.
So he works back there and the babysitter's in the house.
And the babysitter's in the house with the kids. So she was like, okay. So she like called me back like 2 minutes later. She's like, I went out there and like the door's locked. There's music playing and his phone is outside. So I called my sister. I'm like, I can't find Eric. Something's wrong. I just know something's wrong. She's like, I'm at work, but I'm going to call John, my brother-in-law. So my brother-in-law was driving. He lives in Clarkson. So he was driving up to me. And I was coming from work, so we basically got there really close in time. And I got home, and I had called my mom, or my sister called my mom and told her to come and get my kids, basically, so that they weren't, like, home. Because I was like,
just in case.
I was like, something's just wrong. Like, I just knew, like, in my gut, like, something's wrong.
Even if it's not worst case scenario, he's in a bad state that you don't want your kids to see him
mentally,
in.
Mentally, what I expected was to get home, and, like, mentally, he just wasn't going to be in a good place. And, like, I was going to have to, like...
having some kind of breakdown.
Yes. I thought I was gonna have to like get him some help. I was gonna like break down the door and get him and like take him to the hospital. Whatever. That's kind of what I thought was gonna happen.
Thinking you were walking.
That's what I was expecting. So my mom was there and I like flew to the back because we have a driveway. So I went all the way to the back. I'm knocking on the door. I can't get in. It's locked. And then I'm like, well, let me go see if I can like find his keys. I run in the house. Can't find his keys anywhere. But then I ran into my bedroom and there was like a box wrapped with my name on it. And I was like, shit, like this is bad. So as soon as I saw that box, I called 911 because I was like...
You didn't open it?
I opened it and it was like a huge wad of cash. Like cash I'd never seen before.
Okay.
I didn't even know existed. And it was like a lot. And it was just a box of money. That's it. There's nothing.
There's no note, nothing.
Not there. No. So I like sprint out the back door calling 911, and I'm like, I don't know what's wrong. Something's wrong. I need you to get here because I can't get into this barn. And something happened.
It's really bad.
I said, I think he hurt himself in some capacity.
I feel like a box of cash though could mean so many things. Like you're
so
like, is somebody after you?
Or like, did you just leave? Like, am I going to get in the pole barn and he's not even going to be there? Like,
right.
I was like, I have no idea what this is. My brother-in-law got there, and I'm on the phone with 911. My brother-in-law got there, and he broke the door down, and
the 911.
No, my brother-in-law.
He broke down the door.
911 was like cops and ambulance. Nothing. Nobody was there yet.
Oh.
My brother-in-law kicked the door down, and that's when we found him. But he had taken his own life. Yeah, it was honestly like I felt like it was.
But you guys were all together.
Just my brother-in-law and I. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the cops showed up. Yeah, it was awful.
I can't even imagine. Like,
it was like
this entire situation is so like horrific and tragic. Like,
I can't believe that it's my life and like it's my story ever. I cannot. It's
so. What did you do then? Were you like, we have to get the kids, we have to call the kids? Like, did you just say like, I don't even know what to do with the kids yet? Like,
no, the kids were at my parents. And when we found out what had happened, my sister flew there from work. Everyone came basically. Like my kids stayed at my parents' house. Thank God.
So did your brother-in-law call your sister?
Yes, yeah. After
where was the babysitter?
The babysitter went home.
Oh, you were like,
yeah.
You should go.
I sent her home.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I sent her home like right when I got there. I said once my mom leaves with my kids, like you can leave. So yeah. So basically, I got like brought inside. I was having like a full blown panic attack. Right.
Oh
like,
my God.
I literally couldn't. I just remember I couldn't breathe, and like then like they made like EMS come in and like hook me up to an EKG, and that's what I do for work. So they're like hooking me up to this EKG, and I'm like literally like sitting like with my hands on my head at my kitchen table, like I can't breathe, I'm shaking, and like I can feel. I was like, my heart rate's through the roof. Like this is a waste of time. And I'm like, can you just turn that around so I can see the EKG? And they're like, what do you do? And I was like, this is what I do. I was like, I work in cardiac rehab. Like, and they're like, oh, you probably know better than we do. And I was like, okay, just shut up and please go away. And they're like ripped everything off of me.
You're like, everything that's happening to me is bad.
I was like, I just literally like ripped the EKG off. I was like, I need you to go away from me. Like, I need you to leave. I need you to go away from me. Yeah, so then they did whatever they did outside. They came in to talk to me, and he had left a note.
In the barn?
Yeah, he left a note in the barn.
Was it to you, to the kids?
It was everybody? To me. No, it was to me. Here's like the really messed up part. So they would not, since it was like a quote unquote like investigation, they would not let me take his note and go and sit by myself and like quietly like, by myself in a room and read it. I had to read it at my kitchen island with everybody else that was in my kitchen, like my sister, my brother-in-law, the detectives, the police, everybody.
It's like such an invasion of like. I mean, I get it from like an investigation standpoint.
I get it,
but like
but it's
being
also
in
like,
that position.
Jesus, send one guy with me into my bedroom to let me like sit there by myself and read this gut-wrenching note, right?
Yeah.
Like gut-wrenching. Seriously. And then they took it with them. So my kids ended up staying at my mom's house that night, and my brother lives across the state, so he came over. He got there. My sister and my brother stayed at my house with me that night, and I just like laid there. Like I didn't even know what.
So do the kids not know at this time?
No. My parents came over.
I'm sure that's like your first thought is just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
How do I tell you this?
Yeah, I don't even know. And at the time, Raya was only 2. So she didn't really understand. She still doesn't, but kind of. I mean, she understands as much as we can tell her, right? Well, thank God for my one girlfriend. She's a pediatric psychologist.
Oh, thank God.
So she had all the books, and she just knew, like, she was like,
did you just kind immediately of like, call her and be like, tell me the exact?
Yeah, like her and like my other girlfriend who lives across the street, like they were the first people, like they were like the friends that I wanted there. Like I need you guys here. So I called them.
They probably also knew the most of what
was
like kind of going on also.
Right. Yeah. They knew like the more of the details of like
the dynamic.
Yeah. Thank God for her, because she told me like, this is how you should say it and like what you need to say, and like the one thing was like, don't lie to them. Don't lie to them about like what happened, or like just answer their questions as
honestly, even though the answers are going to suck.
Yeah. So that's basically what it was. It was like, just tell them everything, and like, well, not everything, like, but just tell them enough. And if they have questions, you can answer them. So I had to go the next morning to my parents and tell them what happened. Yeah, so that was...
I cannot even imagine.
It was like the most gut-wrenching conversation I've ever had in my life. Like,
I would imagine that conversation with your kids had to have been like, nothing is going to be harder than this moment.
No, and I don't think it ever will be. Ever. Because you have to be the person to say it. You can't be like, hey, can you tell them for me? Right. I had to be the person to say it. I had to be the person to tell them.
You have to.
And that's, well, yeah, exactly. And I never would have wanted anybody else to be the one to tell them that. And honestly, I thought, so my daughter was 8 at the time. My son was 5. I thought that my 8-year-old would like melt down. I thought she had taken the hardest. I thought my 5-year-old would like kind of understand, but not really. But it was total flip-flopped. My son like melted. Like, and that's like the hardest part. Like he just like bawled for hours.
Yeah.
And my daughter, like,
I'm sure it's so like not real either to them because like they've never experienced that. Probably any level.
No, they've never experienced loss until then. So now like it kind of sucks because it took like that innocence away from them, like that
life is precious.
Know it is, but and also like they know that a loss that children should never have to know.
Right.
Ever. Like to lose your parent that young is just that
especially in that circumstance that they will not understand.
Not yet. And it sucks too because it's like every developmental like cognitive leap that they have more questions.
It'll make them who they are, but it's also like so hard for you to be like, I hate that you have this. And you can't do anything.
No.
I think that's the hardest thing as a mom.
No, you can't take it away.
There's so many things that you want to control and you want to like protect your kids and you're just like, this is the worst situation. And I can do nothing.
No, it's part of all of our stories now, right? Like it's part of my story. I never thought I would be a widow of suicide ever. They're not going to be, oh, you're the kid whose dad, took his own life. No, absolutely not.
Which I think is maybe it depends depending on their age because I'm sure a lot of their friends don't know. They don't know what that even means.
There was a lot of coaching for my daughter before she went to school, just because kids are mean now. Kids are not nice. Kids can be mean, and kids and unknowingly too. So like,
they don't realize the damage they're doing when they say something,
or when they ask a question, or whatever. And we live in a small town, so I mean, obviously, and I say this, and I've told my friends like. There's a group of women and their husbands and just people like I would never have survived the last year if it wasn't from our village of people that we have.
Your little community.
Yeah, like people just dropping off food or whatever it was. Like in those early days, like that was game changer.
Huge. And I'm sure just like someone for you to be like, I'm gonna just throw up all over you, and you're not gonna judge me.
Yeah, exactly. Or like, hey, let me. And I'm like not the kind of person to ask for help, but like let me pick Callie up from practice or like let me pick her up for this or let me like help you do this or whatever. And like I have gotten a lot better about it. My friends now, like my girlfriends know, like they just do it.
They're like, shut up and sit down.
Yeah, shut up, sit down, I'm doing this. Or like, so the biggest thing was, well, what do you say? Like if somebody asks like, hey, I heard your dad died. And, Callie's like, well, I'll just say, yeah, like, and what we went over was, yeah, his brain was really sick. And he, his brain was sick and he passed away. And then I was like, okay, well, and you kind of have to get in this.
You have to prep them.
And I'm like, well, what if you say like, oh yeah, well, I heard he killed himself. Cause that's what kids will say, as terrible as that sounds. She's like, well, I don't know. And I was like, well, you have my full permission to throat punch them, and then I'll deal with the school, or like tell them to F off, like leave me alone. Like,
but it's
none
also
of your
like,
business.
as a parent, like, don't you tell your kid like, hey, don't ask this.
Yes.
Like to mine, if somebody like had a problem, I'd be like, hey, this went down. Shut your mouth about it. Mind your business. Okay.
Well, exactly.
Like just be like, if that person has a bad day, like be a friend.
Yeah.
Don't be nosy.
Yes. So that's what a lot of like her close friends, like her really close friends, like. They obviously, like, their parent, and I felt bad that their parents even had to, like, explain to them that this is what happened, right? Like,
don't feel bad for anybody else.
No, like, I know, but I do. Like, I felt bad that, like, their kids now, like, knew what this was, and, like, this is a thing now.
Yeah.
But they, they were great, and she really has not, like, one little girl was like, are your parents divorced, and this and that, and, like, she's like, no, like, my dad died. So she had to say it. And I think that's the hardest part is when they actually have to say it out loud. Like,
I can't even imagine that because when I got divorced, I was like, can somebody else just tell the world? I'm sick of telling them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No, exactly. Like,
and that's
somebody
so
else
much
just
worse.
tell this story?
Yeah, you're like, oh.
Yeah, that's not fun. But, I mean, all things considered, like, my kids are doing great. My kids,
good.
Therapy is for everybody, right? They do struggle, I think, with some things and like some situations, and like God, like daddy-daughter dance, like that came up, like that was horrific, but she had a great time. She went with my dad. She had a fantastic time. I was gonna
say, I feel like your family is so sweet. They would just like step in. And
no, yeah, I mean, we have such great people. I mean, my brother-in-law is amazing. My brother, my dad, everybody, like everyone, even like my friends, their husbands offer to take her. So like, we have so many people to step in.
Good.
So
I love people like that.
I know, me too.
I feel like that's like the hugest thing, especially like as a mom, to have other moms that care.
Yeah, that get it. And
Yeah,
so basically that's been my life for the last year. Yeah.
That is like horrific,
Yeah.
but also I feel like it's so amazing to hear how you handled that going up to it, and then like that is just something that I don't think anyone can prepare for.
There's no way to prep for that. There's no way to
There's no way to master
I'm glad
that.
I look like I know what I'm doing because I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, so
I don't even know what I'm
doing.
doing, and I'm not doing that.
No,
So.
yeah, exactly. So in my brain, like I like to be busy. So I was doing like a bunch of DIY projects. Like right after he passed away, I was doing a bunch
You're
of stuff.
so crafty too.
I was trying. Well, I try, but I was like I finished our basement myself, and like my girlfriend came over and she like helped me.
What are you drywalling?
I laid flooring. My girlfriend and I like we built a bar. And
I feel like you're good at this, though.
And paint.
It's healing for you.
Oh yeah, it totally was.
You are so creative.
I'm
You're
so
like
type
creative
A.
and like good at stuff like
I'm
that. Though.
so type A, but I'm also like, don't help me. People were like, you need to slow down, and I'm like, no.
I feel like slow down sometimes. You do what's for you.
Going back to like mental health with him, like he was struggling so much more than anybody ever knew. Like I never knew he was struggling with that. He left me. I'm totally like ping-ponging all over the place here. I'm sorry, but
that's okay. It goes with my vibe.
He
I'm a ping pong.
Left me 50 voice memos on his phone throughout the entire month. So at the day after we got home from that up north trip that I was telling you about, that's when the voice memos started.
Were they like mean?
Some were mean. Like it was like it was my life roller coaster.
Some were super nice. Some were super
I love
mean.
you. I hate you. You're great.
Has
You're
anybody heard those?
No.
Where are they? Did you save them? Or
they're on his iPhone. I have his phone. So the very last ones were like the night before that he did it. So he was planning this since the day we got home.
Wait, so when he left you the note, was he blaming you for it?
No.
Was he saying like, this is your fault? You did this to me?
No. And I mean, obviously like that was something that I struggled with. No, there was no blame placed by him. It was an apology. Like, I'm so sorry. Like that this
is your life now?
Yeah, or like I'm so sorry that like and mental health wise, I'm so sorry that I couldn't be the person that you needed me to be, and I'm sorry, like I'm so sorry for my kids for doing this, and he took a lot of that blame for this himself, and so at first people were like, well, it's so selfish, but I really struggled with that because he wasn't a selfish person at all. He really wasn't. Like
he was just sick.
He was very sick. Yeah, he was very sick. He truly believed in his brain that we were better off without him in our life in any capacity. Because honestly, like even if he were here, like we would be divorced. And I always imagined like co-parenting with him. At this point, I would gladly share them with him than to not have him. Nobody knows that. Everyone will have their thoughts, and I just don't care anymore.
I think it's so like normal that people have mental health problems too, that it's like, how is someone going to judge my shitstorm versus yours?
Yeah.
Like just because I'm talking about mine.
Yeah.
I know you got one.
Like it's my story. Like and that's why someone's like, oh my God,
it's not embarrassing.
They're like, you're gonna talk about everything like that, like your marriage, and yeah, like it's my story, and it wasn't healthy. And
but it's also probably like somebody
mine.
is,
so like let me talk about whatever I want to talk about.
Right, but I also think that someone is dealing with something similar.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not the only person that was in a toxic marriage. Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Over here.
Everyone knows.
So why try to package it up and make it something that it's not?
Yeah.
It's real life.
It is. It's life. I personally am like in a really good place, and thanks to therapy. I am like a huge advocate for therapy. Even my therapist says like I'm doing really good, but I'm doing good. I really am.
I feel like strength is so weird too, because like I feel like you don't realize when you're strong.
I feel mentally
because you're just like trying to do the
you
thing.
gotta just do
and you're like,
things.
What am I supposed to just say? I'm not doing that. I'm not strong enough.
If I didn't have 3 kids that were staring at me every morning, there's probably a lot of days where I would have stayed in bed, especially right after. Like last summer, I would have spent in bed, but I couldn't. I can't do that.
No,
you can't. You can't do that for your kid.
Just getting back on track here, because I know we will just spiral forever. I guess. What is one thing that you would have told yourself 5 years ago that you wish you would have like known about being in the toxic relationship, but also like 1 year ago, what's another thing you would have told yourself before, like not knowing what you were going into?
Yeah. Don't stay.
You would have said 5 years ago?
5 years ago, I would have told myself, don't stay.
It would have been worth the shorter term misery than what you have.
Yeah. I mean, because don't stay in an unhappy place. And life's too short. Life is way too short to be miserable.
Absolutely. And
Oh,
like,
it's way
and it's
too
not
short.
even like, yeah, you're going to have chapters that are going to be harder than the others, but like,
Yeah.
why are you choosing to have like
This is-
decades of
yeah.
sadness?
Yeah, and I spent a decade.
Yeah.
Right, that's 10 years, right? I spent a
I
decade.
don't do math.
I spent a decade
Unhappy.
on a bad roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
As much as, you know, and I will always, obviously, I'll always love him. I have so much love because I know the person that he could be. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, I didn't love our marriage because it was awful. I would tell myself 5 years ago, don't stay just for the kids. They're going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would tell myself, screw what everybody thinks and do what makes you happy.
Do what you need to do.
Do what
I
you
always
need to
think
do.
too when
Yeah.
like, so when I did this, it's like, or when I got divorced, it was like, oh my God, it's going to be like huge news, whatever. Like the huge news happens for like a week and then everybody
And then
forgets
no one
about it and they
cares.
move on and
And
somebody
everyone moves
else
on with
does
their life.
something
Yeah.
stupid the next week. And then like,
Yeah.
it's so short term.
And you feel, it's like that scarlet letter, right? Like you feel like you're like labeled, but you're not. You're not.
No one cares that much.
Nobody cares that much. So really, I'm the widow who's showing up to like the sporting events by myself, and my kid has, you know, just me. But like, I'm enough.
Yeah.
And that's why I keep telling myself, like, that's what I've learned is that I'm enough. Sure, it would be great if he was here, but I am enough for my kids, and that's what I think all women and that's what all people need to know. Even if men, if you're in a toxic relationship, because I've, you know, I know some people, some men who are with
Crazy
women
ass
who are-
bitches.
crazy bitches who are not nice. Like, just be nice to your significant other. And if you don't like them, don't be with them.
Just don't be with them. But also, I think
Yeah.
so many people are so mean because they're not
happy.
thinking they're enough.
No,
They're
yes,
not
you don't think that
they
you're
don't
enough.
know they're enough, so they're mean to other people.
Yeah, exactly.
So what would you tell yourself
a year
1
ago?
year ago before going into this? Like, I wish I would have like to prepare yourself for the literal shitstorm that you're walking into.
I said I was going to punch someone if they called me strong again, but that I am a lot stronger than I think.
So much punching is happening.
So much, yeah. Well, so kind of spinning off that. So people send flowers, right? I will never, if anyone ever dies, I will never send flowers because I can't tell you every flower delivery that showed up on my front door because it was just like I felt like the flower delivery truck was just like back and forth, like to my house.
Like, just bring the store.
I wanted to just smash every single vase, like in
Why?
me. Like I don't know because I hated it so much that this was my life. I hated it.
What would you want? Like, if somebody
Nothing.
died, what would you send them?
Well, so
what
the-
do you do?
I think looking back, the best thing for me was when one of my girlfriends sent me a Costco. She didn't show up, and that was another thing is she sent me a Costco delivery of all
Ooh.
kid-friendly food, stuff I could throw in like the air fryer, like chicken nuggets and peanut butter and jellies, and like all kid-friendly foods. My kids don't eat casseroles, which I have to say I appreciated everything. Like someone
yeah.
set up a meal train and like people would drop us off dinners or like whatever it was, and I appreciated that so much. And it was like a game changer. Like the DoorDash gift cards were a game changer when I didn't even feel like eating, but like I could order
Something and
McDonald's for the kids or pizza or whatever it was. That was awesome. But I think what I just saw something the other day. When you don't know what to say, because there's nothing really to say.
Well,
There's
I feel
nothing
like
right to
everybody
say. There's
in
nothing-
that position is like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Like, I
don't
mean,
know.
you're like melting down as you should, but then
Yeah.
everybody's like, I can't fix anything.
Yeah.
What do I
don't
do?
know what to do.
What do I send you?
It was more so just to show up. Just show up for your people and just be there. And just, that was like the best part was like my two best friends, they literally were like on rotation at my house for like the first few months. That's the biggest thing is just showing up, but also knowing your place too, because I had a lot of people like, I just want to come sit with you.
And there were people that you were like, I don't want to sit with you.
Please don't. Yeah. I was like, nay.
Not you.
Yeah, no, next. No, I'm just joking. But like, I didn't want to like, and then you felt like you had to host.
I think it's also huge, like people who like they're bringing this stuff for the kids. It's like, do something for them right now because like,
absolutely.
I can't.
Yeah, my friend, my sister's coworker brought me sent like this huge basket with beach towels and a huge splash pad for my kids.
Oh, good.
And it was like something that I could do. I could set it up and I could just sit on the deck and have a drink in my pajamas and just not do anything. And they were having like the time of their life.
And you're like, my brain is on outer space right now,
Yeah.
but at least you guys
But
are
at
like,
least they are occupied and they're
well.
having fun.
Yeah.
I know that you had asked one of the questions you sent, like, did I have to get a job or whatever?
oh yeah, did you work afterwards or what happened?
No, thank God I had my job. So
Oh,
I
good.
had my job at the hospital. I worked 40 hours a week. I carry my insurance. That was another thing. Like, thank God, like I knew all these things that I had to do.
But you were set either way.
Yeah, I was okay. I
I
had
think
a job.
so many women are like they are so reliant on their husbands that it's like if something like this happened, like they would be literally thrown in the ocean with like nothing.
I think that's something that like to teach their own, I guess, but like that's something I will never ever do. And I didn't.
I'm that now.
No, yeah,
I am
exactly.
That now.
Yeah.
Like, why would I?
Why? Yeah. I don't want to rely on somebody else. Never. I never want to rely on somebody else. I never
can't
want
imagine
to,
going through what I went through or what you went through. Being relying on somebody. And I weirdly have like people message me all the time. They're like, I need to get out of this toxic. I need to get out of this like toxic relationship I'm in or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I know anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I think I messaged you that like 5 years ago.
I feel like okay, so that's the only reason that I remember you saying like,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to get divorced. And then you got knocked.
I did probably twice. Probably twice.
She's real good at science.
I'm real good at science over here. I'm real fertile. Not anymore.
But I didn't know anything that was
Shop's
going on.
closed. No, yeah.
I can't imagine like not being okay on my own.
No, I can't either. And that was like,
especially with kids.
That's a big thing now. Like I would never rely on somebody else for my way of life. So thank God I had my job and thank God my job is great because I took 3 months off. I took all summer off last year. And was just home with my kids and like healing and just being there and being with my kids and trying to
going through it.
God, there was so much stuff to do. I did end up closing our business and I closed our business because people were like, well, you could keep doing it. But like, no, I can't. If I never have to look at another granite or quartz slab ever again, I will be
If you had to get countertops, what would you get?
If I had to get countertops?
Wood.
Yeah, wood.
No, I'm kidding.
I'd get wood. I'd get granite.
You would?
I would. Yeah.
Over
sure.
marble?
Yeah, marble sucks.
Why?
It's marble itself. Like if it's real marble, it's so delicate. So delicate.
What about quartz?
Quartz is great. But quartz is great look-wise. But granite's just so durable. Like it's a rock. You can't hurt it. You can't.
So you're still in with the granite?
I think
She's selling me on the granite right now.
There's like some really, really cool natural stones now. Really cool. But if you want like white, obviously quartz. So I say granite, but I have quartz in my kitchen.
But didn't you have like shit in your backyard? You're like, hold on, I have 400 pieces of granite in the backyard.
No, that was like one of the things he did before to prep for.
He purged it?
He broke it all.
Broke it.
Dude, we had 16, I think, dumpsters full. I had a village show up to help me clear 16 dumpsters. Literally 16.
I love a dumpster. I am passionate about a dumpster. 16
dumpsters full of granite and quartz broken pieces that he smashed.
How do you smash that?
I mean, you just drop it on the ground and smash it with a hammer. And he did every single piece that we had. Yeah, so that was like, I mean, he just like, and there was just so much stuff. Like my life turned into like a bad scavenger hunt. Like he drew hearts all over our house. That was another big thing. So I'm still finding like black Sharpie hearts all over stuff, like everywhere. There was a lot of prep work that went into this that like he hid so well. So I think that would be like my biggest takeaway for this for somebody is for men and women, like prioritize your mental health and also like just talk to somebody. Like, just tell somebody. Like,
everything is normal at this point. Crazy is normal.
Crazy is normal. Tell somebody, like, tell somebody that you're having this. Because if, I just wish that he would have told me that that's where he was at. And he never did. He never led that on. He never told anybody. And it was, like, so unexpected. I never, ever, ever, ever would have expected that to be what happened. And he hit it so well. Is just,
if you feel like shit, just say I feel like shit.
I feel like shit, or like I have these thoughts. Like, just tell somebody. Like, or like
I
tell your
am unwell.
I'm unwell. I'm not.
I actually say I'm unwell every time I wake up in the morning and I'm like just like in it.
Yeah,
it's not that often. I feel like I'm randomly okay.
Yeah.
For as psycho as I am, but like if I'm upset about something, I will literally just text Anthony like I'm unwell. Mm-hmm. I am unwell. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't explain it. I don't even know why. I'm unwell today.
Yeah, and I mean, they say like grief comes in waves, and it totally does. Like I would say, last month was a bad grief wave. I just felt like shit, so I did, and so I feel
like that's so normal for your situation, though.
So normal, and I got back into like I signed up for the gym. I take my kids to the gym. I drop my kids off at the daycare.
And
I was like,
sit in the
this
sauna.
is for,
I'm
yeah,
kidding.
well, that's, well, the
You're like, oh,
saunas
there's
have
a
been,
daycare here? I'm
yeah,
out.
sauna,
We're
workout,
going to the gym
sauna,
again.
go. No, but so I did it for my mental health. I'm like, you know what? Like, I cannot shake this grief wave. I've just been like throwing myself back into that again because I loved the gym before. I used to love it. And I'm like, I'm not going to spend my money on that, but now I am. Because I'm like, it's so worth it. Yeah. And you got to do something for yourself.
Absolutely. Okay, do you know what I thought of today?
Oh, God. Hard telling.
So, remember when we randomly were like the ring girls at a cage fight?
Yeah.
Why? Why were we there? I don't even know.
I don't know.
We made like $20 and bought burnouts with it, probably.
We made $20. I'm pretty sure I wore underwear. Like straight up black.
You did?
Yes.
I think I had shorts.
I wore black underwear.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Maybe I had underwear
for sure.
too. I don't remember.
I had underwear and then we cut up those shirts. That was fun though.
We cut up shirts?
And I for sure was just wearing underwear. You know, like when college, like when you would just upload like your terrible pink Nokia camera.
Oh, I had like 9 of those. You know I had 9 of those.
The next morning, I feel like the title of that album I just looked at the other day because it was, I knew.
Do you have the album?
I think so.
We might need to put these up.
Do you remember, I just thought about when we went out for Halloween. I also think I was in
Wait,
underwear
Hannah
on
Montana?
Halloween too.
Oh, was this Hannah Montana?
Yeah.
Oh, we should do the dance. I don't know it.
I don't remember it now.
No.
I also think that I was in underwear on that Halloween too.
Wait,
I don't
were
know.
we in a bobsled and I was in a Hannah Montana outfit and you were in underwear?
Yes. Why was I constantly just in my underwear out in public in college?
It's probably worse now. Don't you think?
I don't know. I'm never sending my daughters to college. Do you remember when we would just steal things at parties and they called us the grab bag?
Oh my God. We were bad. Also,
Terrible.
like, why did we take their eaves troughs? We took like their gutters from their house.
We would take them with like their remotes, like their most random stuff.
Everybody,
but also like the most inconvenient things. Could you imagine how pissed off you would be the next morning?
You're like, I got no gutters.
No, I have no remote. I'm hungover. I just want to lay on my couch, and I have no TV remote
Or hand towels.
It's in my purse.
I mean, we had a blast.
We did. College was fun.
I just want to thank you for being here and being open and honest about everything that you've experienced. I know it's so hard to hear, but I'm sure it's so hard to tell. And I'm so proud of you and everything that you've come out of and just overcome. Yeah. I know that everybody listening is probably just like,
whoa.
Yeah, but like just to have the courage to talk about it and share it because it is real life and mental health is huge in everybody's life. And I'm so glad that you are brave enough to share it and you're, showing up for your kids and you're just such a good example of, pushing through and being a mom because like momming does not stop.
No, it never stops. It's like the 24/7 job. But thank you for like letting me come on here and tell you about this because I feel like it's not talked about as much as it should be.
We shouldn't feel weird talking about.
We shouldn't feel weird talking about mental health and everybody should be in therapy. It's good for you. It's not a shameful thing. And mental health medication is not a scary thing. It doesn't matter if you need something to like level you out. Who cares? It just shouldn't be a shameful thing. And also, you don't need to stay in that toxic relationship. It's not going to be an end all be all. You're going to be okay. Like that's the biggest thing I think is life's too short.
Life is too short.
Life's too short. You got to be happy.
Well, so I have a gift for you, actually. It's not physically with me.
Okay.
But I had Carly on last week, and she's a Reiki practitioner.
Ooh, okay.
She is going to give you an hour Reiki session.
Ooh.
And get you just relaxed and just fill you up with all the love that...
Fun.
I feel like a lot of times moms, like, sometimes
you
just need a mom gift.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
And so she is going to hook you up. I'll hook you up with her.
Awesome.
But thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, for sure.
Love you, and I love that we had this talk.
Love you. I'm so glad we got to get back together.
And anybody... follow Devin and all of her shit because she's a
badass.
badass.
I mean, reach out. I'm fine. I mean, I don't have like a huge like following or whatever, but
she's a resource.
I'm a resource. I've been there, and I didn't really have anybody to talk to when I went through it.
And that's hard.
And it's hard, and nobody really understood, and everyone's grieving, right? I'm fine with like send me a message.
She's here for it.
I'm here for it.
You can follow Devin directly on Instagram at devin.fritzler or find her on Facebook at Devin Fritzler. I have all of her socials in the show notes and also some resources for people who could benefit from getting some information on mental health or being in toxic relationships. It's all provided for you in the show notes.